Libra, this is your tarot reading for the month of July. There are big things going on in July, and you're no exception. There aren't actually major arcanas in this. Oh, there's one very important one. There's big things going on in July, but I don't think they necessarily get resolved. But you're not immune from them for sure. If you look at that central card, what it means is that you're getting disillusioned with something and walking away from it. We don't quite know what yet, but I suspect it's as much to do with ideas and how you view life as it is sort of a physical situation. It could be a physical situation. In the past, you were looking for something creative, something, maybe you were looking for explanations about the world, but that might have been entirely personal, but something creative, seeking it out. And now you're embroiled in conflict. It's one of those conflicts that is probably quite easy to resolve, but you can't see how. Maybe it's to do with the fact that you're struggling a bit in terms of everything you have to do. Work-life balance, we might see it as. And that's going to lead you're going to score some victories. It's going to lead you to scoring some victories and gaining public recognition. But your future energy is still that of a degree of struggling with your commitments, maybe. Now, the way through all this is through strength, a wonderful inner strength that you have. So I can feel all the energies, but I can't quite decipher what they mean yet. So we're going to look at each of these energies individually. The energy that runs throughout this entire reading and impacts on all the other energies is a sense of disillusionment, a sense of walking away from things. Probably walking away from things that were very important to you. Now, we don't at this stage know what they are, but yeah, you're walking away from them. I do have the feeling that it's more about ideas and a way of living than it is necessarily physical things. But I mean, you might be walking away from a job, a marriage, it could be anything, that you're walking away from. But it's that energy that's so important. And as I say, that energy runs throughout all the other energies. There is an indication, it could be walking away from a relationship, a family. There is an indication that it's that, but I'm not too certain that I should run with it. And that might simply be a detail that doesn't matter, because what's going on in July is for all zodiac signs is quite profound. In the past, you were seeking something new, probably something creative. I mean, it could be a new love. And that might explain that you're walking away from your current love. It could explain things, but I've just got this feeling that it doesn't matter. But you were seeking out something, you were looking for something. And what seems to be happening for all signs in July is that when we sort of nail our colours to the mast, we're being set up to fall. And I feel that maybe is what's happened to you. By opening up your heart to seek something, it lets in some energies that test that, shall we put it that way at least. One of those tests is going to happen very early on in July, and that is a conflict. It's not necessarily it could be a bad conflict, sorry. It's not necessarily something that can't be resolved. It's as though you're wanting to achieve the same thing as others, but you're all pulling in different directions. And if only you could discuss it, then maybe it could be resolved. It's one of those ones that's easy to resolve, but it will niggle you. It will niggle you. And I think that conflict is related to you wanting to walk away, to throw in the towel. You've had enough conflict. Probably enough conflict and enough deception as well. That's the feeling I'm getting. Which is why some of these other, maybe sub-themes, I'm not picking up on so strongly. Future, so we're probably talking about after July, we have what I call the single mother energy. Now you might be shouting at me, I'm not a parent and I'm not female. It's the energy, it's the energy. You look at this rendering, she's put Mary and Johnny to bed, kicked their toys under their beds, thrown on a ball gown, slapped on some makeup and gone to the opera. And she looks wonderful and she's pretending to have a great time, but she can't help but thinking, I wonder if they're asleep yet. Yeah, you're doing a good job, you're very caring, but you probably don't think you are. Now it's just that energy, it's that you're struggling with all that you've got to do. Maybe dependence, maybe there are people depending on you, but you're struggling a little, not enough hours in the day. But as I say, I think you're probably doing a wonderful job, you just don't realise it. It's a similar energy that leads to the outcome, and the outcome isn't a bad outcome. But it's a similar energy of you struggling a little to do all that you've got to do. Could be work-life balance, it could be just too many things on your plate, and all of them feel a bit of a struggle. Now you look at this, can you imagine riding a penny farthing? I couldn't, I wouldn't be able to do it, Riding a penny farthing in Victorian clothing with a tailcoat, nearly impossible. And then riding it across a seashore at night, very, very difficult indeed. You're struggling. I don't think it's that you're throwing the towel into. I think this is a symptom of the disillusionment that you feel. Disillusionment that you feel all around you, I think. And again, this struggle is, and particularly because the outcome seems like a good outcome, this struggle is something that you are, just like the single mother at the opera. It's something that you are going to get through. It doesn't mean to say you're going to lose this struggle. The universe would like to send you some encouragement, and that is to reassure you that you're strong. It's a wonderful inner strength that you have. You probably don't feel like this at the moment, so this coming out in the tarot could be a wonderful message for you. And I think it's a bit like, my single mother at the opera. She doesn't realise she's doing a good job, but she is. And you don't realise how strong you are, but you are. If you remember, the whole theme is you getting disillusioned and walking away. And I think this is saying, well, yeah, you're strong enough to do it. You are. You've got that determination. So it's an encouraging energy, and it would change things. Things would be easier if you could draw on your strength instead of feeling overwhelmed by all that you have plunged yourself perhaps into. You don't believe me about that strength, and you don't pick up on that sign from the universe, but there will be other signs. Those other signs will be you scoring small victories and people recognising those victories. Remember I said the single mother doesn't feel like she's doing a good job, but everybody else does. And it's that, people do recognise that you are doing well, that you are scoring victories, that you are moving in the right direction. Now these are battles, not wars, you know. They're little piecemeal things, but they're very important signs from the universe that you are heading in the right direction. To keep faith, to keep moving on. I'm going to get a little bit of clarity on why you're disillusioned, because I think then everything will fall better into place. So what is it you're walking away from? Well, it does, I think I was right, I think it is ideas, that's the first thing I'd say. But you are disillusioned with manipulation, being stabbed in the back, you're disillusioned with deception. I don't know if this is just personal deception in the world. I think we all are. And then we have love, new love. Divine love. Are you disillusioned with love? Remember, this has kept cropping up. Is it about love? Are you walking away from a relationship? In which case the single mother card could be a single mother or single father, couldn't it? Yeah, let's look at each individually. First card of clarification, and remember it's on what you're disillusioned with, is a King of Swords, a very, very wise king, a king with great knowledge. Now that knowledge may come from formal learning, it may come from books, and he's got one in his hand, but it also comes from experience. So, do you know, I think you are disillusioned with your beliefs. I don't know if you're like me, but I've got this feeling that my life has somewhat been wasted, that I've fought a series of lost causes, that everything I've devoted my life to has been a chimera. Now, I don't know if many people feel the way I do, maybe it's just my age, but you know, I think a number of us are feeling that way, and that's the energy that I'm getting from this. Why am I feeling that way about my life? Well, you know, I think most of us are aware that there's just been so much deception in the world, so much manipulation. You know, this look at the rendering, the City of London, the hub of finance in the background. He's on a roof, he's been stabbed in the back and dropped his briefcase. That we all, to a certain degree, have chased wealth, chased our role in a system that isn't designed for us. In fact, it's designed to deceive us. And I think many of us have just had enough. The fact that nobody is owning up to the deception only makes it worse. You know, they've been completely caught out now. You know, all the evidence is coming in bucket loads. Everybody's denying. You know when people sort of, it's more a joke than anything, isn't it? But you know, they cross their arms and they're pointing both directions. You know. It wasn't me, it was him, you know, and that's what's going on at the moment, isn't it? And you, along with the rest of us, have had enough of it, and that's why you're walking away. Yeah. You could have been personally stabbed in the back as well, you know, and making it out to be entirely global issues, and it might not be, but, you know, whatever, it doesn't matter, it's the energy, and you've had enough. Enough is enough. Now, all along as I've been doing this reading, I've been saying, no, it's not about families. You're not walking away from your family. It's not about love, you know. And it could be. It could be. Because we have here what could be about a new love, new partnership that feels divine. If it is about love, what you're walking away from is the sort of narcissistic view of love that we all carry with us. You know, it's a love of ownership and control. And that isn't what real love is at all. But yeah, you know, you maybe even you have seen through that, but those that you fall in love with haven't. You know, so it could be about love. I might have got it a little bit wrong. But as I say, that's really not what matters. What matters is this disillusionment and the fact that you've got the strength to see through it. So whatever it is, you know, whatever the physical things are that are going on are not so important. And I think now we can summarise for you, Libra. Libra, your July reading is all about you getting disillusioned and walking away. You could be walking away from a relationship. You know, there's enough clues in this that that's exactly what this is about. But I've kept sort of refusing to fully go with them. And that's because it feels much more like it's about the disillusionment of an idea or a set of beliefs. Certainly, you know, in the past you were looking for something new, something creative. Could have been looking for a new love, could have been, but I'm not certain that it is. I think you are searching for something and you don't even know what it is. But a conflict emerges, maybe because you were seeking something, but conflict emerges quite early on. And I think it's that leads to this somewhat pessimistic view, that leads to you walking away, even though this conflict could quite easily be resolved. Does the walking away mean that life becomes a bit of a struggle? It could be, or it could be life was a bit of a struggle anyway. But you're struggling to do everything that you need to do. I think you're actually succeeding, but you're just not aware of it. Now, the universe is going to send you two signs that you are succeeding. One is that you have a wonderful inner strength, and if only you can recognise it, you can cut through all this. And yeah, walking away is the right thing to be doing, you know, and it's given you the strength to do it. But the alternative is that you will start seeing that you're winning some battles. They're battles, not wars. But other people will see that you're winning these battles. So if we go down that trajectory, then there is going to be more struggle to cope with all that you've got. And, you know, if you've left a relationship, maybe you have to look after children, and you find that a little bit of a struggle. But you do a wonderful job of it, even though you don't think you do. So, you know, July and post-July might feel a little bit low and disappointing to you, but the universe, and I think everybody you know is shouting out to you, we admire you, you're doing well, Libra.